Hey everybody, this is my InsideOut project. So before I get into my CAD and sculpture, kind of wanted to go over my timeline and kind of the inspiration that I got from it and go into a little bit more depth about myself. So I was actually born in Minnesota, and being that far north is actually kind of a nice change of pace compared to the El Paso weather. Going a little bit more forward though, I spent my high school years at Chapin High School, and while there, I joined the cross country team and also the orchestra. Now, kind of going more into the present, I wasn't too sure where I wanted to go for university, but I ended up deciding on UTEP, and I knew from the get-go I really wanted to try engineering leadership, and so far I haven't regretted that. Likewise, currently I'm really into investing, and I really like the idea of being able to take my money and make it grow more money for myself. Likewise, I also have the kind of mentality that you always need to be learning, and kind of one of the ideas I have is that you don't really die when you die, but you die when you stop learning and stop trying to learn more about the world. So, kind of continuing on that, um, exploring and doing new things is always something I really like to try. So I really got into mountaineering as of recent, and because of that, I've gotten into climbing, hiking, mountaineering, and really just being in the outdoors. Likewise, currently, I'm also kind of always thinking about business ideas and ways that I can maybe, start a business. And that kind of leads into the next segment, which is the future. So I really hope that I will graduate, and I'm fairly sure that that will happen. But likewise, just far off into the future, I really do seek to have happiness. I think it's very important to be happy with what you're doing. And likewise, I want to help the world and be able to help in some way, whether it be in like a climate crisis or something of the sort. And likewise, if you can see, the business idea kind of has a line that goes to the business. So I'm hoping that something from my business ideas blossoms into an actual business in the future. So here you can see my final CAD sculpture. So it's comprised of a music note, a climbing wall, a solar panel, as well as a representation of stocks. So the music note on my sculpture represents the music and the orchestra that was in my life, and it being on the lower section of the actual sculpture is representative of it being in the past, so the higher the elevation, the more forward we'll go into the future. So from my time in the orchestra, I felt I learned two major things, which was that practice makes progress and that you always have to have a commitment towards excellence in whatever you do, whether it is in music or whether it is in another aspect of your life. So the central portion of my entire sculpture is actually the climbing and mountaineering, which is embodied in a climbing wall. So here I actually kind of wanted to represent my present, where I currently am. As if you're climbing up the wall, you would be in the middle of the wall, and thus leaving the past, which is the note, and kind of going up towards the future, which is at the top of the wall with the solar panel. So further elaborating on the whole idea of mountaineering and climbing up, it is a process, and I feel like it's important to know that there's grit and determination, which I both believe are extremely important now and in my future. So actually here you can see two examples of grit and determination where myself, my brother, and my cousin all climbed Mount Fuji, and myself and my cousin climbed Mount Elbert in Colorado. Though I'm not too sure what my future will hold, I do want to have a future in renewables. One of them that I really like is actually solar panels and solar energy, and I do definitely want to help build a better future for everyone. The final piece in my sculpture actually is a representation of finance, and here you can kind of see some of the interests I have, whether it be in business or in investments. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you very much for listening in, and If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them now.